Welcome to the Dalorrian show. This just in, SEAL Team 6 has kidnapped Sam Hauser, the CEO of Rockstar Games. He has been captured at 3 a.m. January 11th, Tuesday morning. And the Associated Press reports that he will be held in a cell with P. Diddy. On the street, reporters are saying that employees at Rockstar Games were stunned by the raid, and they face technology that they have never seen before. One game developer said, and I quote, "It was like they hit me with the brown note. Suddenly, the lights were out, and we were all shitting our pants." It is said that Sam Hauser will be held, and Donald Trump will assume the presidency of Rockstar Games until GTA 6 is released and that his demands are met. Fox News reporter Steve Doocy has a quote from Donald Trump that says, and I quote, "We have to release GTA 6, or we're not going to have a country anymore, folks. For too long, I've stood idly by, and now me and the greatest soldiers on planet Earth have taken into our own hands to ensure that Grand Theft Auto 6 will release on time and affordable to the American people in 2026. No official reports have come from 2K, the parent company of Rockstar Games, and I'll keep you posted from here. And let this be a warning to Todd Howard and Bethesda with Elder Scrolls 6, because if you look, man, we're good. People are getting captured out there, man. So, you know what I mean? You gotta be careful. Anyway, I haven't been sleeping normally. Welcome to the Dalorrian show. Let's try that again. I've been trying to sleep normally, and what that means is like at night. Oh, by the way, that whole thing was made up. Just in case, I made that up on the spot. That's probably not real, but that's the world that I live in. The world that I live in is that's what would be happening in the news. Anyway. I've been trying to sleep, and it doesn't work. Because I'm like on a sleep during the day schedule, and I'm trying to flip back. Because I'm gonna start working during the day a little bit more. I'm trying not to stay up like super late because I want to be up with the kids in the morning because they're up. Like the kids, like they'll sleep but they wake up a lot, And my oldest is like has the croup, which is kind of like the Grim from Harry Potter. No, I don't think so, but it's the croup, and that's where you cough. And well, for her, she poops and she coughs and she gets real like suddenly she'll just start whispering because she doesn't really know how to clear her throat yet. We're trying to teach her how to do that. And yeah, so she's on steroids. So she is fun on steroids until she's not, which at like 9 o'clock at night, she is putting out the illest version of Jingle Bells that you've ever heard in your life. But screaming Jingle Bells from like 9 to 11 can wear on a normal adult person. So yeah. So and then the youngest is like, I think the youngest is starting to teething. That's where your mouth hurts. So yeah, everyone's miserable. Everyone's just fucking miserable. I'm kidding. But we are. Oh, I lost my shoe. We are though. tired, you know. And I was talking to a friend the other night. I was walking because I gotta do something to get out of here. I gotta like, I'm gonna walk, I guess. I'm gonna start running. I guess I can run away from my problems. But I was talking to her and I was like, hey, you know, kids, and you know, she's like, should I have kids? I don't know. And I was like, well, look, don't let me tell you. First of all, because one, I'm a dude and you're a lady, so I mean, I can tell you from my perspective, but you should probably talk to Mrs. Dalorrian as well. But I was like, you know, for me, it's not hard. It's just never endingly busy. It's like someone always needs something. And that is what is the difficult part of it. And there's hard times, I guess, but like I don't want to call like having children hard. I want to call it busy. Like more busy. You think that you're busy. Like you think before you have kids, and if you're an adult and you're like a working adult, you think that you're busy, but you can always kind of carve out time. Like, hey, you know what, man? I'll work 6 days a week at the Crystals, at the Wendy's. I did 60-hour shift, whatever. Like, I'm a nurse. I did 4 nights, 4 days, but I got Saturday. And on Saturday, dude, I'm just going to order DoorDash, whatever. And I'm going to just going to just turn off, maybe get a little bud on, maybe get a little drink on, and just recharge. So with children, you don't recharge. Like you don't get a recharge window. And that is what is tough with children. Because until they're older, there is no recharge. You just go. You're just always in low battery mode. You're always in low power mode. And everything's kind of grayscale. But I actually love it. I mean, to be honest, I love it. Like I can't imagine like a higher honor, truly, than to be a father and to take on the challenge of raising children, especially in this era. Like, my God, talking about treading unknown waters. I mean, I'm not like a bear's not going to come eat me, but we live more in a time of mental danger, more so than ever. So, you know, I respect the challenge. I feel extremely blessed, and you know, we may even have another one, which makes no sense at all. But we'll see. I don't know. We're kicking it around, but yeah, you know, like it truly is a great thing, and it is, you know, you never have to second guess like what's the most important thing. Like I want to podcast and stream and make videos on YouTube and stuff like that. Like I want to do that more than anything, truly. But it's, you know, sometimes it does have to take a little bit of a back seat if a kid is sick or we have to like cut the stream short. Like we were playing Dispatch the other night and I had to cut it short on the final episode, which I'm looking forward to doing the final episode. And we'll get there, but pre-patch is out in WoW Classic Anniversary. And yesterday, it was not going to happen for me to like log on. Turns out that's a good thing because the servers did not come on until like 2 or 3 a.m. the following day. So Blizzard was like, hey, man, pre-patch is going to drop on Tuesday at like 3 p.m. CST. Servers didn't really open up, as far as I know, until 3 a.m. Wednesday. So had I hyped up and like, we're going to do this, man, we would have been twiddling our fingers. So maybe I'll play Wednesday night, you know, and we'll get in on that. But yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. I had an experience that may interest you, and it is that I bought a PS5 Pro, and I didn't buy a PS5 Pro because I was like, bro, I gotta have it. Like, oh my God, now I can see what Aloy really looks like in Horizon Zero Dawn, Assassin's Creed Shadow Legends. This is gonna look so good now. Like I didn't do it because I was like, I gotta see my Arc Raiders in HDR, like nothing like that. You know, honestly, like let's pull up like PS5 versus PS5 Pro, because like I read this at some point, the differences, right? And talking about how I'm going through life kind of as a zombie right now. Um, I just don't, I have not cared about the differences, and it's been, and it's expensive, right? I think the subtotal with taxes and everything was like $800. Now, why did I get one? I got one because for Christmas I got a Best Buy gift card, and it wasn't a lot, but it was like enough, and I was like, okay, well, what do I want from Best Buy? And I was like, well, nothing really, truly. And I even went online and I was like, well, maybe I can like use this Best Buy gift card to get like a PlayStation gift card. And then Best Buy's really bad about that because it let me order it and it was like, your order's canceled. And I was like, well, why? And then like it wasn't like a random other page that I looked at, I had to Google it. It was like, oh, you can't buy a gift card with a gift card. And I don't know if that's like everywhere or just Best Buy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. But I was like, okay, well, you twisted my arm. I guess I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. So instead of just getting you a gift card, it worked out for Best Buy. It worked. But then, so I had the money on the card and I had like a $50 bill or something that also got, I don't even want anything for Christmas. I have grandparents and parents still alive. Again, very blessed by that. I'm like, every year I'm like, please don't get me anything. I don't want anything. I know you love me. I know that at one point I was a little kid and it was fun to give me things. And like, I'm so thankful that happened. But I have kids now. You can just get them stuff and like, I'm fine. So I'm just like, you can get me food. And they're like, I don't want to get you just food. And I'm like, okay, well then you can give me a gift card to like wherever and I'll go figure out something to do. So I will probably tell my parents, hey, I used your Best Buy gift card to get a thing. And they'll be like, what thing? And I'm like, I need a new thing. And they'll be like, oh, okay. And then that'll be the end of the conversation. But anyway, so I had the money, I had a little cash. I was flush with cash. And I looked up and I said, what is my original PS5? What is the trade-in value of that? And so my PS5 was an original that came out I got it the year that it came out. It was impossible to find PS5s. It was like right during COVID or something. And I remember just watching like Amazon for like a few days, and I finally like got one through Amazon. I was like, is this real? Like, is this really gonna come here? Is this really gonna actually get shipped to my house? And it did. And then I realized over the past 5 years, like that there were really not a lot of games that I even cared about playing on the PS5. It was not a great year for people. It was like, wait, why do I have this? I feel like I've played my Xbox way more than my PS5. But this is GTA 6 year, supposedly. And these things aren't getting any cheaper. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to just do, if there's a PS6, am I going to do that? Probably. I just get the new consoles. Like I probably shouldn't, but I don't know. Maybe I'll wait a little bit. I don't know. But basically my PS5 Pro is a gotcha game machine. And maybe I'll go back and play Arc Raiders, and then maybe, I'll play GTA 6 if it ever releases. But yeah, so with that, it turns out, so PS5 Pro, it has advanced ray tracing. It has upscaling with PSSR. I don't know what that is. I think that's like the USSR, but the new version of Russia. I don't know. And then Wi-Fi 7, and then 2 terabytes of storage rather than 1 terabyte, and then no optical drive, which I don't care about optical drive. And for me, I do like that it's a lot lighter, and you don't really need a stand. You can just turn it on. And I think, I could probably play like Spider-Man or something, and it would probably look better. I don't know, man. You get to the point with like 4K and stuff like that. It's like, does it really matter? I mean, like frame rate, I can really tell frame rate, but a lot of the other stuff, it's kind of so minimal that I can't tell. Now the Wi-Fi 7, I'm actually, download my stuff faster is actually helpful. But it weighs a lot less. And it's a lot, it feels a lot smaller and a lot lighter. Did I get fleeced? Maybe, I don't know. But again, so I was gonna get like a couple $100 for my old PS5, and I was like, well, why not? Let's just go do it. So I went to Best Buy and did the trade-in, and it took forever because the guy who was there was like, first, like he had to take the stand off, and he could not find a screwdriver. You'd think that like screwdrivers at Best Buy would just be like readily available. It was not. So he had to take that off so he could scan it, or he could see the barcode, the security, like the what am I thinking of? The security number? That's not right. The social number? No. The serial number. That's the one. Either scan it or see it. So he scans it and he's like, it didn't work. And I swear to God, like, he had this, and I'm assuming he's Gen Z or Gen Alpha, and this is no hate to Gen Z, but he did the thing where, like, he just kept trying, and it was like, this isn't gonna work, man. And I'm just standing there, and I'm trying to be as, like, as chill as possible. I'm not pressuring him. I'm just standing there, and I'm like, just kind of awkwardly standing there, but I don't think I'm making him nervous. I don't, like, you know, I'm not about to whip out my 9 and be like, give me the damn game, and then boom, boom, boom. You know, nothing like that, right? I'm just like, just kind of waddling around, you know, just looking around and just kind of waiting. And he's scanning. He's like, oh, God, it's not working, man. He scanned it again. It's like, I can't get this shit. Well, I don't know if he said shit. He was more professional than that. But he was like, you know, like, man. And I was like, well, here's and I looked it up on my phone. I was like, well, here's the serial number. Like right here, the small is like, and my eyes were so blurry. And I think it's because I'd been playing my like PlayStation Portal that morning. And my eyes get blurry when I do that because I'm old and I had LASIK or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think that's a J, bro. But like, did you type this in? He's like, yeah, I typed that in. I scanned it. It just ain't working, man. I was like, all right, that's cool, man. So I'm looking around and I'm like, how long do I do this? And like, it's like, I'm sitting there and behind them, there are PS5 Pros. GameStop is not too far away. So I'm like, I could go to GameStop, but I have the Best Buy gift card. So I don't want to go to GameStop. I want to use my Best Buy gift card. And, you know, if worst comes to worst, I could be like, hey, do you have a GameStop gift card that I can buy with this? And they'll probably be like, no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? They'd probably say no, right? I do not. And I was like, maybe I get a controller. I don't need a controller. And then I saw like the Switch 2 cameras, which I had completely forgotten that they made. For whatever reason, I emptied that from my brain that like the Switch 2 came out with a camera for some reason. And interestingly enough, I was like, oh, look, those are literally like, they had them stacked all the way on the shelf and then they had shoved more on top, like horizontally, just to let you know that no one on planet Earth is buying that shit. For any reason. Like, no one is setting up a camera for their Switch 2 for any reason. I would be interested to know if you know someone who has a Switch 2 camera and it just sits on their shelf or by their TV, let me know. Because I feel like that does not happen ever. That's not a real thing that people do. Now, maybe if you're like an enthusiast or a journalist, like if you're like a video game journalist or something, or like a content creator, and you're like, well, you know, you review it. Okay, that doesn't count. I'm just saying, do you know a normie? Do you know someone who works at Wendy's? Someone that works at the funeral home? Or someone that works at the bank? Who they go home every day and they come in, they sit on their couch and like, oh, what a day at the funeral home. And they look at their TV, and next to their TV, there's a little Switch 2 camera. And they fire it up, and they're like, hey, guys, can you see me? I just got in from the funeral home. A lot of blood today. Like, is that what's happened? Like, this doesn't happen, what I'm saying. Anyway, so this is, you know, I'm just looking around at this point. I was like, the PS5 Pro's right there. And I have this thing, and this may be an old man thing. I think everything is refurbished now. I don't think that anything is new. I think Best Buy and Amazon will just sell you shit now, and it's all used. Even though like they'll tell you like it's new, but they're just lying to you. It's like, nah, dude, somebody just brought this in. It's used. Because I swear this thing was kind of dusty when I got it. I was like, why is this dusty? It was in a box. And I think somebody probably like traded it in. I mean, it works fine, and I don't give a fuck. I mean, I got the receipt. Like, I'm not going to be that guy that's like, this seems like it wasn't new. I'm not gonna. If it works, dude, it's cool. I got the receipt. It's fine. Like, whatever. It's fine. If it breaks, it'll be a thing, but whatever. So anyway, I'm sitting there and he's like, dog, it ain't working. So after like 10 tries, I'm like, okay. And so then he eventually, like, other people in the store, it's not busy, by the way. It's not busy in there. And other workers in the store who like are kind of noticing that I've been standing there for a while. And so they're like they're not trying to like get in the guy's business and like help him, but you can tell that they like are probably ready, because a normal like 40-year-old dude, like I could see, like I'm a millennial, so I'm not going to blow up on this guy. I will probably politely stand there for 3 hours and just not really get heated because I'm like, none of us want to be here. You don't want to be at the Best Buy working here. I don't want to come up here and do this. I don't want to do any of this, but I have to physically give you this PlayStation 5. If I could mail it to you and we had to have no human interaction, I would do that. I would totally do that. So I'm sorry that I'm even here. I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. So I'm not, but like if it was my parents would be like, this is bullshit. My parents would be like, this is bullshit. Like after the second attempt, my dad would be like, shh, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. He probably wouldn't say the F word. He might. If he hasn't eaten, he might say the F word, but he'd be like, shit. And everyone, like, even though he's not being like out of line, so to speak, everyone in the store would just feel the air of like, everything's bad now. You know what I mean? Like just my mom would, I can see my mom, she'd be standing there, she'd be like, with a hand on her hip, she'd be like, just frowning and like moaning. And after the third try, my dad would be like, just give me the damn thing. Just give me the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like that's how he'd be, which is rude. And I think a lot of boomers would be like that. But me, I'm there forever. I will stay there. It'll be midnight, and I'll be like, yeah, man, it's not working. I hate it's crazy. I mean, you want me to type it in? I can try, but it's computers, and it's hard. I get it. And in my soul, I'm like, this is not hard. Like in my soul, I am a boomer in a way, because I'm like, come on, man. Like you can do this. If you try the same thing 6 times and it doesn't work, then we have to do something differently. Anyway, so eventually another lady comes in, like a manager, because he's like, dude, I can't do this. And I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. Right? So she comes in and she's like, it ain't working. It ain't working. And I'm like, all right. And so then so we kind of start getting a crowd. Like there starts to be kind of like an ancillary crowd of Best Buy employees that are kind of like, what's going on, you know? And I do it. I'm like, I give up. I start to give up a little bit. I was like, because they're kind of they're like, what can we do? You know, they're kind of putting off the vibe like, hey, you're in our way. And I'm kind of like, hey, you know, if it's not going to work, I can do it. It's fine. I'll do something different, you know. And they're like, yeah, maybe you will need to just not be here, or, you know, like whatever. And then a dude walks up, God bless him, a dude with a ponytail. Looks like he's in his late 20s. And if you ever see a guy in Best Buy, okay, and he has a ponytail or shoulder length hair, you have basically, you are in the presence of a Best Buy angel, a superhuman, not a Geek Squad, because they're not all in the Geek Squad, but like, I'm just saying, if you were in Best Buy or in GameStop or at PetSmart, it doesn't matter. If you're in a place like this in a retail store, not a food, like let's don't do food necessarily, but if you're in a store like this and there's a guy with a ponytail, go to the guy with the ponytail immediately. And I know this, and I didn't do it. It's like he was kind of walking around, and almost 3 times I like flagged him down. I was like, don't do it, because you don't want to be rude to the guy. You know, the kid's trying to do. I don't want to fucking, you know, I don't want to be like my parents. Like the boomers would be like, hey, can you come help this fucking, you know, like it's like, he can do it, man. You know, I'm just trying to like let him do it, you know. And another person, they can do it. It's fun. It's gonna be fine. And but thank God, ponytailed man walks up behind them, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's." He's got an older model of a PS5, and Sony sent out that email recently. You have to like change the serial number, like on the front end or something. Like, yeah, we all got the email. Like, yeah, just do this, and then it'll work. And so they did it, and oh yeah, shit, that works. And it's like, in the one boomer thing I said, and I'm sorry, I was like, hey, don't go too far. Hey, don't go too far. Because seriously, I was in there for like an hour, standing at a counter. You know what I mean? I was there for an hour. Just like, I give you the PlayStation, you give me the PlayStation, we're in and out of here. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And so they do it, and the transaction starts, and then like, you know, I had cash, I have gift cards. He gives me another gift card. Like that was all smooth as shit. He gives me the box. And I was like, hey man, hey dude, I'm gonna piss on myself. I've been standing here for so long. Can you just hold this for me? I go to the bathroom. I come out. He's not there. He's take the PS5 Pro is gone, and now I got nothing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That last part, I'm kidding about. I did go take a piss, and he totally gave it to me, and everything was totally fine. But in the back of my mind, I was like, it's gonna be fine, right? Like nobody's. They got camera. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. You just like you have an $800 item. And you know, like when PS5 during COVID, if you got like PS5s, like people were like killing people over consoles and stuff, apparently. Like if you were walking around with like a PS5, like when they first came out, or like whatever, like not in a covered bag, like people were like waiting around at stores, like ganking them, dude. So yeah, going out is a nightmare. But anyway, we secured it. We secured the PS5 Pro, and the only thing I have on there is Wuthering Waves. And that's it. That's all I got on there. So I literally have a game that you can play on your phone on my high-powered PS5 Pro, which I then typically play on my PS Portal, which does not do 4K HDR and is like an internet connection hub. My life is a disaster, basically, is what I'll say. But no, like, let's just talk about Wuthering Waves for a second. Wuthering Waves is a good game. And I will say that there are some epic scenes and epic shit that is happening in Wuthering Waves. Like if you go, like the game kind of forces you to go through the story, because if you unlock like certain characters, you can't level them up unless you've unlocked part of the map to then go get their materials to level them up. And the only way to do that is like to push story. The story is long, one, because there's a lot of repetition in the dialogue. A lot of repetition in the dialogue. The gameplay of the story itself is not that bad. It's fine to engage with. There's some combat, there's some puzzles. It's fine. But then there's like these crazy big cutscenes with like music, like literal like songs, like, and all of them I've heard like are in English or whatever, like, you know, like it's like an Evanescence song or something. There's just like the most epic shit happening. And I'm like, God, I wish I cared about this. Because for me, I'm just kind of skipping through it a little bit. Like when you go to skip, it'll say like, it'll tell you like a summary of like what's about to be said in the cutscene or whatever. And so like I have like in my hand, I'm a resonator or whatever. And so I have a little spirit animal that comes out of my hand. And in this game, like most gacha games, it's like a little rabbit. It's like a little, oh my God, I was in there and what's going on out here? I'm a bunny. Oh, I'm so cute. And it's like skip. And so it goes from that, and then it goes to like these big boobed anime girls. And so these not all of them, but it's like the story is like anime girls who are kind of like punished, or kind of like, you know, sad anime girls, but they all like kind of are in love with you, and you're like the chosen one. And that's kind of the story. And it's like all the struggles and the stories of like these anime girls, and they have these grand stories like and they're like the chosen one of their land, you know, and like you have to help them to remember that they're the chosen one and help them defeat their chosen enemy. And this is, I mean, I don't, at a very basic level, I'm getting this right. It's actually much more nuanced and confusing than this. Then you go to the next one. It's like, I'm the gladiator of my land, and I'm, you know, okay, and then I'm going to help you. And they all know who I am because they're like, oh yeah, you're like the prince who was promised or whatever. You can be a girl. So it's like, I'm the arbiter or the rover or like whatever. I can't remember my past, but I'm like a god essentially. Like I think that's the story. And so the whole time I play this, two things happen. One, I think about which character should I try to pull, because you get like a 2 or 3 week window where you can pull through the gacha system a character and like their weapon. And they introduce like a new character very often. And it's like, do you want the new character, which you may not even get? Like you are guaranteed to get a 5-star in 80 pulls. And then if you don't get the 5-star you want in 80 pulls, then you're guaranteed to get the 5-star the next time. within 80 pulls. Now, is it going to take 80 pulls? Sometimes, yes. A lot of times, no. I got 2 pulls on an event like within 20 pulls. I got like 2 5-stars, which is extremely good luck. I have also quit being free to play. I got the $5 version where you get like some Lunites, which is just Asterite. It's just the game currency that you can pull, and you need 160 of them to make a pull on a weapon or a person or whatever you're going to pull on. And so I'm doing the $5 version, which gives me 90 of those things every day for like 30 days or something like that. And so I was like, I'll do that. And then if I want to do it again, I'll do it again, but I don't know. So for me and my account, I have tons of 4-stars who are good because I got like, they're all like ascended and all this kind of stuff. But then it's like, one, I want people that are easy to play because not everyone's easy to play because they have kind of combos and you have to understand their gameplay. And then there's a lot of 5-star characters that like, they're only good if they have their weapon that is like their signature weapon, which you also have to pull for, which is like so now you're up against that 80 pulls to get the signature weapon and the person. And sometimes it's better to pull multiple copies of the person than it is the weapon. And like, I'm almost getting out of breath talking about this. And then, but some characters are like really good, but they're kind of more technical to play. And you need another 5-star on the team that is like a limited run 5-star character to make them super good. So my plan is to try to get people who don't need 5 stars and just level up a few of my 4-stars who are good. Because I got Varine, which is a 5-star healer, and Shorekeeper, which is a 5-star healer. Those are the best healers. And then there's going to be there's like Chiza or something like that. She's like a 5-star healer. Why do I know all of this? I don't want to know this. But this game is really good. Like, just let me log in and do a couple things, and then I can put it down. And the beautiful thing about this game is like, you can put it down because it's like a mobile game. You can put it down anywhere at any point, and your progress is saved to that point. Even if you're like in an in-game dungeon and you're about to get to the final boss. And a lot of games, it's like, well, if you stop, you're gonna have to go back 20 minutes to your last save, and then you just, then you're gonna have to redo it. No, dude, you're right the fuck back, like where you were. Like, you're right back in. And so I love that as a dad with children on steroids, and who doesn't sleep at regular times. And yeah, but the whole time that I play this, I am really not, like, I think that there's really interesting stories for the characters. And again, they're like waifu girls, most of them. And so I'm like, I take it seriously, but also I totally do not take this seriously. And I'm like, damn, this is some epic shit happening. This is kind of good, but I wish I cared about the characters more, but I don't. Like, they're just attractive, and it's like, it's about as shallow as that. Even though they try to make it deeper, I'm just kind of like, okay, your whole world died, and now you're the only one left, and that's sad, and now you see visions of people. I'm like, I get that. It's so anime, sadness. It's like, almost like, it almost gets kind of 80s anime with like some of those story beats a little bit, and it's like, I get it, man. But I just want to unlock the characters and play. I just want to beat the shit up, So yeah, it's weird. But the whole time I play it, I think to myself, do you know what I really want? I want a Marvel gacha game. And it'll probably never happen. Because the amount of money that they make off of these games is insane. And they own the intellectual property of them. But when you see Wuthering Waves, like the cities that you go to are freaking awesome. Like, the whole, like, so when I started in Jinju, and it's like a Chinese mountainous valley grasslands area with a city in it, and it's beautiful. Now at the part of the game I'm in, I'm like in old world, like Italy, Greece, gladiators. It looks amazing. Like, it's amazing looking. It looks awesome. It's just beautiful. It's just like freaking beautiful. It's so good compared to other games that aren't free to play, so to speak. And then the next area is going to be like a city, like the character, the newest character, Lene, is like a rollerblading motorcycle riding girl with like a video game gun. So it's like, it's going to be like a city now. So I think it's amazing that they have these different like biomes and worlds, and like, it's really cool. But it got me thinking, like, I want the Marvel version of this. One, because I know Marvel characters. And they could put in a million different characters. And if they wanted to goon out, they could totally goon out because they do that with Marvel Rivals. So that is what I want. I want my Thor 5-star. I want to pull Thor as my 5-star. I want to fly around New York and Wakanda. And like, you think about that Avengers game that came out. And that Avengers game, compared to Wuthering Waves on graphics and gameplay, is horse shit. And I played that game a lot. It is horse shit. It's like a bad gacha game, which is why they shut it down. But like, if one of these companies could get a hold of Marvel, and here's the thing, like I have hope for this, but I totally don't, just because like nothing I ever want works out. So, you know, that's a me thing. But like, it would be so easy, and I want it to be anime, by the way. I don't want it to be westernized. I want Thor and Iron Man and Rocket Raccoon. I want it to be anime looking. I want it to look like a gacha game. I want Iron Man to be a mech, like he's going to be in Marvel Hokum or Hokai or whatever it's going to be. I can never remember the name of that. Like that like anime Marvel fighting game, which I'm gonna buy. I don't even do fighting games, but I'm like, yes, I want the anime Marvel. Yeah, anime Marvel. Yes, I want that, please. Yes, I very much would like that. Yes. So I'm just gonna get it. I don't even care. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care. I'm probably gonna play it once and put it down. I don't care. I'm gonna do it. It looks so cool. I don't care. I want dude. Give me the gacha game, dude. Because dude, I was a big Marvel Heroes guy. You may not remember that game. It was like Marvel, but Diablo. It was like Diablo Marvel. And they shut that down too. Like after Marvel got sold to Disney, they shut that down. And if that still existed, I would have gone back to that several times. But alas, it does not exist. But boy, that was a great game because, again, it works out well for like heroes and villains to have a Diablo type or PoE type gameplay. And so like playing this gacha game the whole time, I'm like, dude, what if my character was like running up on Thor and we were in Asgard or whatever it is? And like we were playing in Asgard, and I could pull Thor or one of the Valkyrie girls as like the 5-star and like level them up, and then they could be in my rotation for the team. Or I could pull like Spider-Man or Iron Man. Like, dude, I'd be like, dude, I would definitely be spending money on that. Would definitely, because I played Marvel Heroes a lot, and then there was another card game that used to exist, which is kind of like Uma Masume Pretty Derby. I never said that right. Uma Masume Pretty Derby, which we'll talk about in a little bit because I'm still playing that. That game, I've been thinking too, reminds me of an old Marvel card game that got shut down like in 2014 or 15. And me and my buddy, absolutely, he's a streamer, and I used to work with him. And we used to play that game on our phones like crazy, dude. And I remember I had like a 5-star Captain America. I had a Hulk card that was really good. And I remember with him, he was like, hey man, I'll give you $100 for those cards. Cause like you could trade with anybody, whatever deal you wanted. And like the gameplay itself was horrible because like it was just your card bouncing through a little map, and then you would fight computer, but then you'd fight other people with your cards. But it didn't matter because like the card collection was awesome. And then like leveling up the cards was an awesome gameplay loop. Again, all precursors to amazing stuff. And so we're at the gacha game world now. We're in gacha, and they make gachas every day. Einfeld, our administrators, or whatever the shit's about to come out, where it's like a factory gacha game that's going to release in January. Brown Dust 2 is a gacha game that everybody, like Steam is banned because the girls are too hot or something. Dude, there's a gacha game that's releasing every day. Give me like the Marvel's Avengers game. Like they wanted it to be like a gacha game, but they just didn't go. They didn't quite go all the way in, and they didn't know how, and it was just mismanaged. But give one of these studios, give Kuro Games. I don't want to give to Hoyoverse, and Hoyoverse is like bigger than Marvel probably, like on revenue, which is sad. Hoyoverse probably does more money than Marvel, honestly. So they're like, Marvel, we don't fucking need Marvel. They're like NetEase, where just give someone Marvel. Because everyone has Marvel. Everybody makes a Marvel game. So like, this is easy. This is an easy win. Give someone Marvel and let them make a gotcha game for me, where I wake up, I don't know who I am, and I'm sitting there on the ground, and I'm just a dude or an attractive woman. I'm dressed in like either X-Men garb, or I'm dressed in like an agent, like a what are they called in Marvel? Like what's Nick Fury? Shield, like I'm like a Shield agent, or I'm like an X-Men who's very like what generic. And I wake up and my eyes open, and Nightcrawler looks down at me, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And then Captain America walks up, and he's like, "Get up, soldier. It's time to fuck shit up." I don't think he says that. I don't think Captain America's ever said that. But you get up, and then the game starts, and you do a little combat, and you're like, your character's like, okay, I'm beating some shit up. I'm like a karate guy, maybe, whatever. A karate girl. You can switch back and forth, like a Black Widow type person, maybe. Like nothing too crazy yet. You're not a hero yet. You kind of do your little thing, and then you move on, and it's like, okay, then you unlock Captain America. He'll be like your starting character, who's like a very decent 4-star. And then you get Nightcrawler and X-Men or something, or Beast or some shit, and he's like a 4-star, support character, And then the game begins. And it's like, well, I need a 5-star. Well, next week we get Deadpool. Deadpool's the next 5-star. He's got guns and swords and all this shit. Who's next week? Who's coming out in February? A Storm's coming out, so you can like do lightning all over the map and everything. She's perfect for like the end game shield tower or whatever. Bro, give me Wuthering Waves exactly as it is right now. Except replace all the characters with Marvel characters and make them look anime. And I will give you all of my money. Having said that, I'm going to keep playing Wuthering Waves. And I mean, my stream time is limited, so again, with WoW and pre-patch and everything coming out, we'll see what happens. But I've been playing Wuthering Waves. Another game I want to talk about really quickly is Dispatch. And what a great game Dispatch is. I'm currently on my second playthrough, and it's not a very long game. But I love the gameplay of actually dispatching and trying to get the missions correct and leveling up my characters that I manage. And then the relationship and the story, like the relationships and the characters and the story and the decisions you make are all compelling and all fun. I mean, the language is crazy and whatever, but it's all so well done. And so I've been streaming the second playthrough, and we're on the last episode. So we'll do that. All that's going to be up on YouTube. Hell, I'll probably play it again, man. Like at some point, it's that good. And I don't replay games a lot, but it's not long enough for like it. You could do it like in an afternoon. Like if you started at like noon, you could probably knock it out at like 8 p.m. or something. If you really had the time. But I love it. I can knock out 2 or 3 episodes at a time. There's only 8 episodes. It's so great. I love the world, love all the heroes, love the villains. It's just so good. And then the gameplay itself. Like, dude, if there was a Dispatch game on my phone where the gameplay loop was just here's a call out, send the people on your team and level them up to like passively go do the missions, and then they come back, like check back in an hour. Did they complete the mission? Oh, they did. All right, let them level up. Like, dude, I could do that all day on my phone. It doesn't take much for me. Does not take much for me, man. Yeah, I would love that. But yeah, so it's good. And Ad Hoc Game Studios, who made it, and I don't know if they ever made anything else, but I think it's clear that people love the game, and I think there will definitely be, like, people keep teasing like Dispatch Season 2, which is totally fine. If they did like a Season 2 with the same characters, I'm completely on board. Completely on board. And they can just say, this was the official story, and you're going to go off of this. I would totally be fine, because I've played it kind of both ways. Or, I think there's probably more than 2 endings. I don't know, though. Maybe not. Some things are just different, right? Some things are different, some things aren't. But, yeah, I don't care what they put out. the next thing they put out, I will play it. If it's Dispatch, I'll be excited. If it's something else, I won't be super excited, but I'll definitely play it because this game is just so good. So if you're on the fence about playing Dispatch, don't be. It's in a world where like most of the games are a grind, where most of the games that we have are even single player games these days. Most of them are such a grind. Dispatch is like a good quality TV show with a very chill gameplay loop. It's compelling. It's like a TV show. It takes you right to the next episode. You do not want to put it down. It's such a great experience. And like something like, and they got it right where so many titles have gotten it wrong. Like the Telltale games, I enjoyed a lot of those, but like the graphics were always ass. And like I think my favorite one, there was like a Batman one. I mean, there's like 2 Batman ones, and I thought those were really good, but like the graphics were ass, and this animation is so much this animation serves it so much better. It seems so much more modern and I don't want to say mainstream, but like easier to digest, and it will age so well because of the animation, because it's like an animated series. Whereas like if you go play like Walking Dead Telltale, dude, it's just booty now, you know, and that's just an art style decision and whatever. Like I said, there was a lot of those games were good. I remember a lot of people loved The Wolf Among Us or whatever. Like, The Wolf Among Us is the best thing that's ever been created or whatever, man. But yeah, man, it's so good. So if you're like have fatigue from online games, big single player games, like I think about Hogwarts Legacy like once a day. I'm like, when am I going to do Hogwarts Legacy again? And then I think about that game is a single player game, but that game is a commitment. And I already have Octopath Traveler 0 that I'm doing. And WoW pre-patch is out, and I'm playing Wuthering Waves, and I'm playing Pretty Derby. Like I have so many big scope games that are out there now that's like Dispatch is like such a breath of fresh air that I can complete it, and it's not a grind, and it's like an encapsulated experience. And we used to get more of that. It used to be back in my day, it was very rare to get a huge like marathon of a game. And we're not talking about marathon the game that's supposed to be coming out, but like when I was younger, like I was playing like Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8, and those were novel because of like how big of a game, how much you could do in those games was novel, because most of the games you played were like sports games or like games you could beat in a day, you know. Very straightforward. So those turned some heads because it was like those just like, and there were Final Fantasy games before that, but like in the mainstream, those turned some heads because it's like, damn, you could sit on this game for a long time. And then, you know, EverQuest was coming out, and these other games were coming out where it's like, you can really get some time in on these games. But that was not the norm. And now, like, Arc Raiders, which is like an extraction game, like, which Arc Raiders, like, the creators of Arc Raiders don't want Arc Raiders to be a PvP game, but the streamers out there want so badly for Arc Raiders to be a PvP game, so they push it to do that. And now, like, they have the numbers of it's like a PvP game, and it's like a weird thing because the creators don't want that because they know as soon as the streamers stop, their game dies. And like, but they do want it because like they got the masses playing the game, but it's not really quite their vision. And you can just tell there's friction there because they're like, we like our game to be suspenseful and not like just go out and kill everybody, but like kind of suspenseful. We're all just kind of here and maybe we betray each other, but like it's a maybe we betray each other, not we always. And you can tell that like the creators of the game like that. It's kind of funny to watch. But streamers destroy everything. So, well, streamers destroy all games that they really go in on, I feel like. So it is what it is. They also elevate them, but to me, they just kind of, for me, like, and I think the masses, like, you kind of get over games sooner when streamers are like, oh, we got it, oh, yeah, hyped up, oh, fucking, yeah, chat, what's up, chat? And hell, I'm a streamer. So, like, no judgment, but also judgment. Chat, Can we fucking... Oh, shit, chat. Anyway. That burnt peanut guy's pretty funny, I guess. If he's really a guy, it could be a girl. Do we know? No one can know. I think Asmongold's a girl. Anyway. So, Dispatch is great. And in the world where everything's reversed, and I feel like most popular games that if you're just going to set out to play a game, most of them want you to spend a lot of time on the game. This one is just very nicely packaged. It's like, just enjoy the game and we'll see you next time. And you love to see that. Pretty Derby. Uma Masame Pretty Derby. I have, with all the time I don't have, I've kind of went like, I'm still very much playing that game, but I'm more like, I'm just like, get the daily bonus, and I do my team races, I do my daily races with my team, and that's kind of it. For the past several days, I haven't done any career runs, because like a career run gets you money, but also like it can level up your team overall, potentially, not all the time. Like that completely depends on how good your support cards are. Which mine are fine, you know. And my, like, you know, about once a week, my support group gets better every week. I don't think I've had support group in a long time. That's probably what's wrong with me. But no, my support cards get better like once a week. Like I'll get like a new card, and it's like incremental, like a few percent, like a percent better, not even a whole percent. Like I like, you know, 20 tenths of a percent better. And that's just the loop of the game. Like you just incrementally get better. When you get better support cards, then your careers go better, and your character, your racer, horse, girl, as they go through the career, assuming that they beat the career and you win the career, has a greater chance of coming out being like more highly rated. There's a chance. It doesn't always happen, but that's the loop of the game. You do your dailies, you run your careers, you get money, and you get carrots to pull more support cards, and then racers if you want. It's probably better to do support cards though. And I just kind of alternate, and then you run it until eventually all your characters, I guess, are 5 stars, and then all your support characters are leveled all the way up, and then you can have all A rank of everything. That's the loop. And it's like, I guess if you get all S rated racers one day, you can be on the leaderboards, and then that's the joy you get out of it. But I think some people just like the lore of Uma Masame Pretty Derby. Speaking of, there's a movie and a show that exists, but there's one of the movies that is going to be coming out in theaters in North America in February. And I'm trying to figure out how to convince Mrs. Dalorrian to go see that movie. And I don't think that I can, but I do think I'd owe it all to you and everyone else in the universe to try, right? What if I just take her like, hey, I'm going to take you to surprise. And we start watching it, and it's just these girls who are horses running. And she's just like, what the fuck are we watching? Because she doesn't know. I don't think she knows this exists. I haven't talked to her about it. I should probably, you know, it's like I should probably come clean. But like, hey, I've been playing this game on my phone. I want you to know about it. But I'm not hiding it. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like I should confess that I play. I don't. Is that right? Am I doing anything wrong? I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, so it's like, what if I just took her to the theater and we sit down and I'm like, look, you'll love this. That's how I would have to sub. Like, look, I know you're going to love this. But then we go, and then she's definitely not going to love it. And then she'll be like, I thought you knew me. So maybe I don't do that. But I'm trying to think, like, maybe I got to get in there and see these horse girls, man. How am I going to do this? I'm not going to fucking do this. Anyway, I'm kidding. I probably will not go see that. But it would be funny if I did. We'll see. Never say never, right? Last thing, WoW pre-patch. I'm probably going to give that a whirl. Create my old Blood Elf Paladin. I'll probably fire that up in a little bit and see if we can get in there. I had high hopes that we as a community, a Dalorrian community, would all run in with our Blood Elves and log on as soon as the servers went live, but the servers didn't go live till 2 a.m. anyway, and then my kid was sick, so that didn't work out. I mean, it worked out, but it didn't work out. So I'm hoping that tonight, as we go, maybe people will be in and we can run around as a group. I mean, there will probably be plenty of people that are still there, coming up on 20 hours later, but that wave maybe has finished. But I'm hoping that we get in on the patch where we actually go live on Burning Crusade and we can all just be standing at the gate together. But we'll see. The big thing with that everyone's losing their minds about is you can now. So originally, you could not boost your Blood Elf Paladin or your Draenei Shaman. Or I don't think you could do Blood Elves or Draenei at all, maybe. There was a $40 version of the game where you got like mounts, and that was it, I think. Like a flying mount or something. And then an $80 version where it's like you get a 58 boost, but it can't be Blood Elves, it can't be Shaman, so you could boost another character, you get the mounts, you get game time, whatever. This is like a 20-year-old expansion, by the way. And you're already paying like $16 a month for this. So you can throw $80 and just get a level 58. Well, what happened the last time, I think, was a boost on Classic was $40 to get to a 58. Now, here, like a week or like a few days or a week before the release of pre-patch, they're like, you know what? We're going to have a boost. If you want to boost a Blood Elf Paladin, go ahead. If you want to do a Draenei Shaman, go ahead and boost them to 58. We don't give a shit anymore. Which that's so Blizzard, right? And is $60 to do that. $60 to not play the game. And with WoW Classic and TBC, I mean, like, maybe I'm wrong here, but like the game is good. Dated, maybe, but the game is good. But also, like, the game is leveling in a way. Like, there is in-game, but, we who play WoW are mostly older. There's probably some teenagers that play WoW. They probably don't play Classic. They probably play retail if they do play WoW. But for all the people that I know that play WoW are in their 20s and above, and the people that play Classic are in their 20s and above, and the average 20-year-old in 2026 is busier with work and other forms of entertainment and hobbies and knowledge than they used to be back in the day. So I get why they sell a boost. It's not for gold. It's not to crush the gold bots and gold market like that. They don't give a shit about that. Just so you know, we all know that. But it's like, I think they know that, like, if you can save someone a lot of time and get them to the end game, because people are playing Arc Raiders and these gotcha games, maybe not, but people that are playing the other games, working, have kids, like, they know that, and they're like, hey, we're not going to change the game fundamentally to let you level quicker, but you can pay us a hefty price and we'll let you get up to that point. And so for me, sitting here as a father, a very tired father, I'm like, do I boost to a 58 and just chill until the game comes out and then do it? Because I'm probably not going to be a 58. I think February 2nd is like when it goes live. I'm not going to be a 58 in 3 weeks. I don't think. Maybe I roll Paladin tonight and I'm like, this is all I fucking like. This is the top priority. I'm only doing this now. Maybe. But let's say it doesn't hit me that way. I'm going to play it, and I want to play it, and I've been excited to play it for months because I never played original TBC this way. But like, I think I'm just gonna have to be okay with being behind if it is about that. And to me, it's not. Like, I think I just want to level a Blood Elf Paladin I think I just kind of want to raw dog it. And if it gets to the point where I feel like I'm super behind, and let's say I'm like a level 30, and I'm like, do I want to fucking do Maraudon? Like, because I did that on a Warlock and a Warrior and all that. Like, maybe I'm like, I don't want to do this again. Maybe I do the boost. You know what they should do? They should prorate the boost. That's what they should do. They should be like, if you're level 30 and you want to get to 58, it's not $60, it's $30. They should like prorate it. But that's asking way too much of Blizzard. Could you imagine them trying to like patch that shit in? The servers will be down for a year. Could you imagine? The servers would be down for a year. Them trying to get right pro rating boost to give you the right levels for the right amount of money. Oh, yeah. Never mind. This is a small indie company we're talking about. I forgot. All right, we're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about the news. And we're back. What's in the news this week? I saw that Anthem is shutting down. Do you remember Anthem? It was the gotcha game. It was the EA not quite gotcha game where you're like these Iron Man suit people and you fly around and you fight enemies. And I don't know if there was ever raids or anything. And I remember playing that game like a little bit. And it's like you're in your little hub. You know, and Destiny was popular at the time, and it was like, this is gonna be like Destiny, but you have these like these suits. Totally good idea. Totally great idea. Warframe was already a thing. Like, it was a good idea on paper. And I remember like it looked pretty good, you know, like you fly around, but it was so, you could tell there was like nothing to it. Like, and you could tell, like, and I mean, I'm sure people worked hard on it, but like I could just tell, like, okay, fly around, did some missions, and like, again, I'm comparing to Wuthering Waves because I'm playing that game, and the depth of game in Wuthering Waves is insane compared to Anthem. And like, I think that that's a game where it probably would have worked out had there been more game there. And I think that's like the bottleneck that the West has just experienced in the past decade, is like they have these visions and they have the data to know this will work. We know people will like this, but then maybe like in the West, we have like laws that prevent us, or money that like maybe we're prevented from being a sweatshop gotcha game. I don't know, or the technology wasn't there. Probably the technology. If they had like Unreal Engine 5, they probably could have made Anthem much easier. Or again, if they're using whatever all these like whatever engine all these gotcha games use, they could rip off Zelda and you know, with that style, and like probably go ape shit on it. But yeah, you know, like I'm not gonna say you hate to see it go. It's just a sign of the times. And it's crazy. It's actually didn't get shut down earlier than this. It's actually crazy that it shut down, because like the potential was always there with Anthem, but you know, they just went too early. And like, and I think that was like, I think now in 2026, the market and consumers, like, we just know, hey, in the West, games take a long time to make. If you're in South Korea or China or Japan, you either have more bodies and a stronger work ethic, which I'm not saying is good or bad. I'm just saying it is what it is. And not as much propaganda. And I don't think people care about using AI at all. I think people are just using AI and they don't give a shit. Like, I just think that like we just have more boundaries in the West, and like some of them good, right? I'm not saying that like, no, like people should be working 80 hours a week to put out a Gooner Iron Man mech game. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should put tits on the Iron Man and you know, pull a slot machine to get a 5-star tit Iron Man. That's not what I'm saying. But that this game is just kind of like a signpost, or like it was just kind of like, you look back in the history of games, and I actually respect Anthem because it's like they knew, like I think what they saw, I think their vision, whoever was working on this, like whatever their decision was on the game of Anthem, I think their vision was good. I think like I think in 2026, if a different studio other than BioWare or EA, which now that EA is owned by the Saudis, who knows what's going to happen. But that idea in 2026 could be very successful. And I think that with BioWare, though it was mismanaged, mismarketed, and there was not enough game to go on when it released, I think the idea was sound. And I think they were before their time. Now, you could argue, well, dude, what about Concord and all these? Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's absolutely like the disease of the West with how we make games over here. Okay. Absolutely. We're not going to ignore that. We have a hard time these days making good games. We just do. We still make some good ones, but like the East is just churning out such high quality games in comparison. And in the West, you have people putting out, and I'm saying West, when I'm saying West, I mean like the culture. Like I like Expedition 33 would fall under the category of the West for me. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Even though they're east of us in America, but like they are churning out quality games in a way that is just absurd. And in the West, you have indie companies who are now have the technology and they don't have the barriers of corporate, and they're able to make like an Expedition 33. If you had like an Anthem game and you had the right people, let's assume that on the team in BioWare at the time, there was like 30 good people all aligned, and you gave them technology of like Unreal Engine 5, and you said, just go make a game. And they're like, well, I kind of want to do like this, Iron Man's hot right now. I kind of want to do like this mech suit game, like a mech game. It's kind of like Warframe, but like different, like a little bit more consumer friendly, maybe not as confusing, maybe like better gameplay. Maybe that could work. Like, I think that like maybe there is a space for that. And I say that because I just got through talking about how I want a Marvel Wuthering Waves. I want to say that again for people in the back. I want a Marvel gotcha game. I just want to make sure that's very clear to everyone. I want anime Iron Man to fly around. And so I think it was a good idea. But it's going to be gone forever now. And, it's weird too, because we live in a world where like, was there even ever a disc for Anthem? Like, could you buy Anthem on disc? Probably not. But if you could, like that's another thing is like, what if you just wanted to what if you just wanted to spin up Anthem? Like a version of Anthem. Like, what if you just wanted to throw it in a disk drive somewhere and spin it up? Is that possible? Like, is somebody later, like 10 years from now, is somebody going to boot up Anthem and stream it or something? And then it's going to like catch fire. And everybody's going to be like, this game would have been the best fucking game. But like, I hope that there will be maybe there won't be a version of the game that's going to be available. And I'm not saying it's a particularly good game or anything. I'm just saying like I just want games to be available, man. Like there was a game that came out last year that I am just now hearing about, which was a Michael Jackson horror game where it's called something like Are You Okay? Or something like Back from Are You Okay? Or something like that. Like, and Are You Okay? Yeah. But I'm sure that the estate of Michael Jackson or whatever shut that down hard. And now that game is like, there's no Michael Jackson in it, and they changed the name slightly, and you can no longer play that game. Because I was like, I kind of want to play this game. I have a couple people that come to my stream and they're like, hey, it'd be fun to do a horror game. I don't really love horror games, but that was a funny horror game, and I was like, I think I could play a Michael Jackson horror. I think I could do that. That would be fun for me. I think I could have fun with that. I think I could compromise here. And then I come to find out like you just can't fucking do it anymore. Like they have updated the game on Steam. They have gotten rid of the Michael Jackson stuff. and there's like no copy of that you can do. And it's like, we live in a weird time, man, where there are games that come out and then they're gone forever. And I think about that a lot with Destiny, the original Destiny. Because that's a game, like the original Destiny is a game that if I could turn that on and play it right now, I totally would do that. I would totally, like, not like, oh, I want to go like beat the end game and do a raid with some friends and we're going to, organize and I'm going to give them a copy and we're going to fucking do, not that. Just like, just do a few missions and just be in it. And like, like with Destiny, like I'm not super nostalgic for Destiny like I was for Halo, but just to go in and just do it. And then you have like, and then I want like the original Peter Dinklage as the ghost, like as the little robot, because they replaced him, I think, with Troy Baker, because Troy Baker is everything. Troy Baker is if you ever are asked who does the voice in that game for that character, the answer 90% of the time is Troy Baker, by the way. If someone asks you on the street, you're walking down the street, you're going to Fred's, right? You walk into Fred's and you need some Pepto-Bismol. And so you go to the back, it's like all you see is like CDs, like Beach Boys CDs from like the 60s. You see like off-brand Power Ranger dolls, and then you keep going, and then there's some like paper mache something, and then, oh, okay, here's the medicine, and you see a 10-year-old bottle of Pepto-Bismol. Around the corner, an old Mexican man says, "Hey, man," and you're like, "Hey," and you're about to shit all over yourself, but you got to do something. And he's like, "Hey, who did the voice for the man in that video game where they had guns and stuff, and there was a story and they had action?" And you look at him with your hand on the Pepto-Bismol. You do a side eye over to him, and his whole body's not showing from around the aisle, but he's just kind of peeking around the aisle. And you say, as just poop is filling your rectum, you can't even think. But you look at him and you say, "Troy Baker. Troy Baker." He's like, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the one." And you would be right. You would be right, because he's in everything. So I think they eventually, the ghost for Destiny was Troy Baker, right? I think. But yeah, like playing the old version with Peter Dinklage, like that was a vibe though, man. Like that was a vibe, bro. Like I could, like, it would be fun just to like go back, and because that was like the future version of Halo. Like Halo had spun out of control, so Destiny was like a spiritual successor to Halo in a way. But then Destiny 2 came out and everything got weird, and then it is what. And now they're trying to do Marathon, which is even like another weird zombie corpse of Halo that will probably fail big time. So yeah, for me, it's like, it'd be nice to spend. I don't think I can do that. I don't think you can do that. And maybe you can. Like somebody's going to comment and be like, "Here's this website. You go here, you get a few viruses, but then you can download the original Destiny, and there it is." I don't know. But with Anthem, games like this that go, it's not that I love them, but it's like, there was a lot of hype around this game, man. Like that, the culture of hype and the culture of like social media when games are coming out, there is like memories there. I mean, like even like, not saying that like I was with some bros and we were all hyping the fuck out for Anthem. I'm just saying that culturally some things they just go away. And I know there's a lot of people that make a lot of efforts to like archive things, but I just hope that we get to one day, like there's a way to like go back and experience this stuff that's not just extremely hard to do, because in 2026 it is so easy to do so many things. It's so easy to spin up an AI video. Hell, I could probably get ChatGPT or Grok to like make a video game for me right now. I could probably make a video game in the next 10 minutes, And I'm just saying, like, it's easy to do things now, but it is difficult to, experience some of these games as they were is like kind of a cultural moment. You know what I mean? And I think other people do know what I mean, because I remember, like, if you remember Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird came out in 2014, 2015 maybe. And the guy made it, and it started blowing up, and he's like, I don't care about this, and he like made money, and he's like, I'm shutting it down. This is stupid. He's like, he like lived in the Philippines, or he's like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this anymore. And he shut it down. And so like people, like, you couldn't download it anymore. But culturally it had taken off, and so people were selling their iPhones for like thousands of dollars because Flappy Bird was on it. And there was a million Flappy Bird clones that came out, and none of those got popular. Zero. I think there was like, I mean, I think you can do Flappy Bird like Dave and Buster's or something. I think there's a lot of Flappy Bird arcade games, but like, did any Flappy Bird knockoffs do well and make money? Probably not. Like, you see what I'm saying? It was like a cultural thing. That's a weird thing. And you hate to see stuff like that go away and just be in the abyss. But, for me, as a millennial, I've experienced that not just in games, but like in music. Like, there's some music that you just can't get anymore. And like, I have an example, actually. I have this CD that I found online in like this shady website where there's this band called The Working Title. I'm not a huge fan of theirs, but I am a fan. And they had like one album that came out, and basically it was like a redo of all of these songs on here. This is like an EP that they had when they were touring at first. And I saw them in Birmingham, Alabama, and I saw them in a theater, and they played these 7 songs, and it was like, dude, it was so good. It was almost like a spiritual moment for me. It was so good. And I remember throughout college, I bought the CD that night, this EP, and I would listen to it so much. I loved it. And then as years and years, because it's been years passed, like this little demo, this little EP is not online. It's not on YouTube. It's not on Spotify. There's just their album, like their first album. But these versions of the songs, which are way better, by the way, didn't exist. And at some point, I was an idiot and I threw away all my CDs or something. Like somewhere in the past 15, 20 years and moving, like I've moved, like I used to have the big open the CD case and like flap, like here's all these CDs, and it would have been in there. And then at some point I was like, I don't think I need this big thing anymore. And I threw it away. And I don't even have a CD player in my house, like my PC, which is a rocking, fantastic PC. It's like a $3,000 PC. There's no disk drive. And this did not work on my PS5 that I traded in. It did work on my Xbox though. And I do have a disk drive in my car, but I was like, I'm gonna, next time I go ride in my car, which I usually ride around in our van, which I don't think has a disk drive. My car, though, my old car, has a disk drive, a CD player, and I'm like, I'll listen to it on that sometime. And I probably need to rip it and like illegally put it up somewhere. But I'm gonna throw it on my YouTube channel and see. I mean, it probably wouldn't get copyrighted though. It probably wouldn't get copyrighted, sir, because you can't. There's nothing to compare to. There's no files of this anywhere. So like, I don't know. It probably would be fine. I don't know. I love this though. But there was like several copies you can buy. So it's like, it's not completely gone. But my point is like a millennial, there's so many albums and music and bands. Like they're like, I kind of shudder at the amount of bands that I used to listen to that I loved and I listened to so much, and I just don't even remember them anymore. It would take someone coming up to me and be like, do you remember My Chemical Romance? That's a horrible example because they're pretty popular. But they're going to have to be like, do you remember Bright Eyes? Or do you remember Dashboard Confession? Again, all these everyone knows. But you know what I'm saying? There's so many bands they would have to be like, hey, do you remember? And I'd be like, oh, I forgot. I used to listen. You know what I mean? Like, we're at that age now. But since that, like that, the way the music was during that time, in like the early 2000s, if it wasn't mainstream, the internet wasn't quite what it is now, so it's not really archived. A lot of it's not really archived. Because like it was like these bands stopped before Spotify took off, and maybe you can find some of their stuff on Apple. Maybe you could find it on Spotify now, but some of it's hit or miss. Like it's time has passed. And then even in my teens, there was like music and CDs that would come out that may not be like mainstream. It's gone forever, man. Gone forever. So yeah, so when I think of Anthem, I think of things like that. That I just don't want to be gone. Not that we don't have enough. There's an infinite amount, so it is what it is. But yeah, I guess I'm saying I'm sad about Anthem being shut down. Not that I would ever play that for any reason. Speaking of old games that I do like, The Division? The original Division is getting like a definitive update or something. And I think that The Division and The Division 2 are like the PlayStation free games or whatever you can get this month. And but like there's like a tease that there's going to be like a definitive edition run of the original Division, which is way better than Division 2. And I have gone back within the decade, because it came out like 10 years ago or something. Within the decade, me and Jack Lars love that game, by the way. But within the decade, I have gone back to the Division 1, even after Division 2 has been out, and I've like started at level 1 and went to the end game, and then once you get the end game, people are still playing. You can still go to the Dark Zone and find people, but like it's just the game's kind of like it's just kind of like classic era, where it's like it's not going anywhere, and like the meta is the meta, and you just kind of have to wait for the weapons to drop, and like it just kind of is what it is, which there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, it's just like it was such a good game, and truly there was a mode that came out that I don't remember what it was called now. Where you could spin up and like you would get gear, like for playing, you would get gear that would go to your main character for playing. But it was a mode where it was like really maybe the first Battle Royale mode. Because I remember playing Battle Royale in Arma 2, like the mod, and then PUBG hit, and I played that. This was before both of those. But you start out with like a pistol, and everybody's at random parts of the map, and you have to make your way in. And you have to beat a boss, and you have to extract after you beat the boss in a helicopter to get all the loot. And as you're going, you're picking up more materials, and you're like leveling up your dude. You're crafting clothes because it's cold. You're gathering food, and it's a different run every time. And if you see other people, they can kill you on sight, or you can kill them, or you can work together. And so like something that could happen is like you and your team get to the end, you survive, you spawn in your boss, who's very hard to kill, by the way. You start to kill him, you kill him, then somebody else comes and spawns their boss, then you have to kill their boss, and then they come and kill you, like, you know, depending. That didn't always happen, but like it could. And we used to play that a lot, and that was kind of the first Battle Royale, truly. But streaming wasn't what it was yet, and gaming culture hadn't really turned on to that yet. And so again, like Anthem, a little before its time, The Division. So I don't know. Am I going to play a definitive edition of The Division, though? I don't know, because it's been so long, and I've already replayed it a couple times. Though I love that game. I don't know, man. I just don't think I have time for that. Like, I've kind of made my peace with that game, and it's beautiful. Like, I always want there to be a Division I could go log on and play if I really want to do that, but you know, they really just need to make a new one, and I think they're trying to make a new one. Like, they were going to make the Battle Royale one Heartland, right? Division Heartland, which was going to be like which was going to be Arc Raiders, essentially, is like kind of how it was billed, is my understanding. Not quite Arc Raiders, but like an Arc Raiders type. It got shut down. Massive then went and did the Star Wars game, which flopped the fuck out. And then they were like, all right, let's everybody back in on the Division. Everybody come back. All right, we stopped the Division. Everybody back in on the Division. And they've always rumored like they're going to make a movie, but they've never made the movie. And they should make the movie probably, but maybe, I don't know. It could be a good movie. And now they're like back in, and we're going to make a Division 3. Oh, here's a patch for Division 2, like years later. And it's like they're scrambling. But then too, in the news around the Division, there's some layoffs going on at Ubisoft at Massive. Probably some Division people. So it's like, are you guys going to fucking destroy Division again? So it's like, I don't even want to think about it. Like, I don't even want to think about it, because you just can't hype over Ubisoft anything. Clearly. But I would say that the Division was kind of peak. Maybe that was the peak, that original Division of like modern Ubisoft. You could almost put Ubisoft into two different categories. Like I would say like modern and then like classic or something, like classic Ubisoft, which is be like the old Ghost Recons, and the old Splinter Cells, which were just a masterclass of video games in a lot of ways. And those kind of went away, and then it became like this middle ground, like the hand connecting those two worlds was like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and then on the other side of that hand was like on the other side of that era was like the modern era, where like it was like the Division, and they started like doing things like that. And then a couple of Assassin's Creeds came out where they were like RPGs, and now it's dead. And now it's like completely dead. And so now like they're doing the thing that companies do where it's like, well, let's re-release like Assassin's Creed, like Black Flag, let's re-release the Division, and like that's the only way they're gonna make money, because all of their new shit's like just not gonna make the money because it's woke and it's terrible and it is what it is. And so yeah, I mean, if any company probably needs to get bought, it's them. And then God, with Rainbow Six, I mean, they've been hacked to hell to high water. Like we talked about last week, they got hacked horribly bad. And then I think they got hacked again, and now there's like compensation they're giving out to people. I really need to log on and see if my name has been changed or anything like that, or if I have $1 million worth of rainbow points or whatever the hell. Maybe they'll give me compensation, even though I haven't logged on to it in like maybe a year. I love Rainbow. Now I've logged on. I logged on within the past 6 months or 8 months. But I do love Rainbow. It's become horrible with their characters, and yeah, it's some things are meant to end. But I still like I will always love Rainbow. Like if you said, hey, we gotta go pick up a shooter and play it right now, let's go do it. I'd be like, well, it's Rainbow Six Siege for me. That's the one. Like I'm gonna do that over Halo. I'm gonna do it over COD. I'm gonna do it over Arc Raiders. I'm gonna do it over Counter-Strike, Overwatch, and I really like original Overwatch. That's the one I would pick up and like, I'll do this one. If you want me to do one, I'll do this one. If we have to do a shooter, I'll do this one. It would be Siege. So I think that says something. Moving on though, I don't know. Like I'm definitely following the Division, whatever the hell they're doing, but it's because of my love for the Division as a franchise more than like what the actual state of their games are right now. So I'm interested. I'll always be interested, but I don't know if I'll commit to anything. Arc Raiders, 12 million copies sold, $40. It's like GTA 6, every other day I see a tweet or a post or an article that's like, GTA 6 is going to be $100. They're going to charge $100 for GTA 6. GTA 6 is going to be $80 for the base game. There's going to be a $200 version of GTA 6, like whatever. I will probably get and I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you right now. Whatever the highest version of GTA 6 is, now, let me caveat here. If there's like a $500 version of GTA 6 and you get like a car statue or some shit, I'm not going to get that. But whatever the highest version of the digital GTA 6 game is, I will purchase it. I will purchase it. I will purchase it. If it's $200, I will pay $200 for whatever the fuck it is. I am part of the problem. I'm not going to do that for a lot of games. I'm not going to do that for many games. There's a lot of games I love. I'm not going to do that. But for GTA 6, I know I'm probably going to get my money's worth. Having said that, that's the only game that I'm going to do that in. Arc Raiders, I did not. Like, I think I did get the $60 version of Arc Raiders. But Arc Raiders, Expedition, like, these games are blowing the fuck up. And they're at that $40 price point. And we're in a weird part of our culture where, like, the game companies are like, hey, man, the game companies, like the AAA, your AAA game companies is like, hey, we want to keep making games for you. But we need $70 or $80 to make those games for you. Like Borderlands 3, for example. Those guys are like, you know what, pay us our fucking money. we're a corporate game company and we need this. If you want us to make a good game, we gotta do it. And then Borderlands 3 comes out and it's mid as fuck, apparently. And it's like, no, this is Borderlands 3 should probably be a $40 game. And then they look at you, the consumer, like, well, we got all these people making this damn game. What are you talking about? That's impossible. And then you get Expedition 33 and Arc Raiders and like No Man's Sky and these other indie companies that are like, hey, what if we put out this amazing ass game, charge $40 and dunk all over you fools? And that's where we are. And it's kind of fun, but also very sad because there's a lot of IPs, intellectual properties, at Ubisoft and like 2K and EA that are going to be kind of lost to time because these companies will never sell those IPs. And there's no indie company that has any money to buy those IPs and do anything with them. So a lot of them are just going to pass on into obscurity in a lot of ways, which is okay. Because, you know, we probably don't need sequels anymore. Like, let's just be real. Like, nature is kind of doing what it does. The corporate video game nature is doing what it's supposed to do, I think. And I think, like, I think about Arc Raiders, and I'm like, what if Arc Raiders was a Halo game? What if Arc Raiders was, you know, and like, look at me. I was like, you know, I've already said, like, I want Wuthering Waves, but Marvel. Like, you know, that maybe it's time for that stuff to truly die. But my thing is like, I don't, and this could be me just being older, but like, will we get another Marvel? I mean, Dispatch could be, maybe it could be. It's a little still satirical though. Probably not, right? But, you know, are we ever going to get new good IPs? Arc Raiders is kind of cool, but also not fully fleshed out, you know? I don't know, man. We're in a weird place, but it's an exciting place. The exciting thing for you, the consumer, me, the consumer, is that this year we're waiting for GTA 6, but also like a $40 game could drop like in February that we have not really heard a lot about and be a banger, like Arc Raiders or Expedition 30. It could be a banger, dude. And that's great. That's like that. Like, I love that that's even possible. And I guess at the end of the day, I would rather have that than I would, you know, Anthem 2, Electric Boogaloo, where it's like half a game, it's $70, and everybody's pissed, and then you just want to make Mass Effect, and like, we'll make Mass Effect in 7 years, and then you wait 7 years, and then Mass Effect comes out, and it's bad. Like, yeah, maybe that does need to die a little bit. And how with GTA and Elder Scrolls, like, these are the ones that like can probably survive the big change, but look at them. It's taking them decades almost. Well, I mean, Elder Scrolls 6 was announced 8 years ago. It probably will be a decade from announcement. But if you look at Skyrim and you look at GTA 5, over a decade for the next iteration of these games. And again, these games will probably be big, but it's like, if Ubisoft had been, if they said, we're going all in on Division, and we're gonna make a Division 2 or 3 that's gonna be the biggest Division of all time, which they don't do that. They're like, we gotta put out a Division every year, we gotta put out Assassin's Creed every year. They just fucking, you know, throw slop out there. But if they were going all in like the others were, it'd be like, we get one Division every decade, which may be better. But yeah, you know, it's like, it's just such a wide gap, isn't it? It's like you got indie games that could iterate, $40. AAA studios like can't even fathom a $40 game situation. They can't convince shareholders to do that or leaders to do that. There's too much overhead. And then you have like these mega franchises that are like, we can do it still. We can do it the old way. We can do the old way. But it's going to take us 15 years. And the shareholders have been sitting there for a decade. 10 years. GTA 6 better be worth it. GTA 5 was the biggest thing of all time. And I got all my money and my whole life is on GTA 6 and I'm a shareholder. And it better fucking deliver. And GTA 6 is like, well, maybe we should delay by a year or two. Because we're still doing it the old way, which everybody else is dying, by the way. EA, Ubisoft, all these other ones, they're all dead, man. And Elder Scrolls and fucking Bethesda, they ain't dead, but they're like, what if we made shows? TV shows and movies are way easier than games. What if we just do that? And Sony's out here like, hey, I got a PS5 Pro. Cool, what's on it? Nothing. Arc Raiders. And like some of this other slop or whatever. It's like, when are you gonna make like another Uncharted? Yeah, movie. We'll make an Uncharted movie. Why? It's easier. So much easier. When are you gonna make like another like not even Last of Us? Like, I'm trying to think like what's another first party Sony game. They're all like with Sony, all the first parties, they're just shows now. Like God of War. Like when are you gonna make another God of War? We'll make a movie. We'll make a TV show, which I think they're doing. And it's like, why are you doing that? Because it's easier. We'll just make the console and let games come on it, and it's just easier, man. So anyway, video games. I'm a tired dad. Thanks for listening if you've listened. Thanks for hanging out and talking about all this boomer shit. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's been a tired week. I feel a little behind, but not totally, just a little behind. And I'm just very thankful for anybody sticking around. As my kids get healthier and we get more of a better sleeping schedule, as my youngest gets older, it'll be so much easier to pop in. And so I appreciate you guys for hanging out for the long haul. And yeah, if you have anything you want to say, you can always comment on YouTube. You can comment on Spotify. You can come to the Discord. We have a whole channel for like feedback and questions. Anything you want to go over or talk about or disagree with me on, you totally can. And then you can always reach out to me at DalorrianTV@gmail.com for any suggestions or feedback or corrections or anything like that. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.